Jackie and I were planning to go up into New England in a few days. We'll be leaving on what I'm calling RONA RIDE 2020, because that's largely what has dictated where we're going to go. I'm going to have an opportunity to show you some of my favorite roads up there, some of the stops that I really like and frequent, take Jackie a few new places, and share them with you as we travel. So the next several episodes will be RONA RIDE 2020. Hello, mountain riders. This is Wayne and Jackie up ahead there, and it is first day of RONA RIDE 2020. We are on the Blue Ridge Parkway heading north, and we have just passed the turnoff to Mount Mitchell, which is a good landmark because it means we're probably going to start getting out of all the traffic that comes around Asheville. So we're currently on the parkway up in the Linville area. So this section of the parkway is pretty nice, not as crowded as the lower part. Nice curves. You make a pretty good time through here, which is one of the reasons that when we're going somewhere in the mountains like this, is I'll pretty much often use the parkway as my interstate. Compared to going out to the interstates, which run way out in the valleys. So when you add it all up, 6 of one, half dozen the other, taking the parkway really turns out to be maybe just a little slower, but it's a heck of a lot better ride for sure. So this is the iconic Lynn Cove Viaduct. It is near the middle of the Blue Ridge Parkway, almost the midpoint, so it's a nice landmark. And it's a series of elevated causeways along the edge of Grandfather Mountain here. And it was one of the last areas of the Blue Ridge Parkway completed because of the complexity of the construction, as well as a lot of politics involved. So we're up in Southern Virginia now, and still on the parkway. It is about 2:45 in the afternoon. A few storm clouds building here and there, but so far we've barely seen a sprinkle at all. And we're coming up to Doten Park. We got this. Okay, this is going to be our exit coming up. We're going to turn towards Hillsville. And so we leave the parkway. That was nice. So we left the parkway finally, and we're now on 52. We're headed north to pass through Hillsville. Oh, that's a cute little place. Looks like they're fixing it all up. Not a whole lot that's great about 52. It's just a good way to get from here to there without being on the interstate, which is just over those hills over there to the left. And if we can avoid the interstate or the 4-lane roads, we're both a whole lot happier, and it's a whole lot prettier. So Hillsville is one of those little crossroads towns. Let's see, 52, 58, 221. They all meet together here, and that kind of is what I guess has made this town grow over time. I've stayed here once. There's some chain motels out a little bit closer to the interstate. There used to be a good restaurant here called the Hardware Company. I like to eat there, but I think it closed a couple of years back. Good restaurants are hard to find. But boy, when I do find them, I sure do like to hold on to them. That was a good one. So we're getting on 100 now, and this is going to run us up to eventually to a little town called Pulaski. So there's not a whole lot that's tremendously interesting about VA 100. It's a good road running north to south, but off to either side of it are some excellent roads, particularly off to the east side, and that goes over towards Floyd, Virginia, which is a great little town. And there's a couple of good ones that also go off to the west side over towards Mount Airy and that region. We're now on 11, which is a pretty common road along the interstate. Probably was the old road before the interstate was built. But I brought Jackie this way because I don't think she's ridden this one. It has it's only about 5 miles into town, Pulaski, but it has some nice curves, and there are a couple of overlooks that I'm going to stop her at least one, and we'll take a little break there. We're up on 11 now, coming into Pulaski, and this is the Draper Mountain overlook. And back over here, that's the Valley overlook across the street. It's a nice road into town, pretty curvy. Pulaski's kind of a interesting little town. Another one, it's not real big. I have stayed here once. Nice little motel right downtown, and decent restaurant attached to that one too. There are some really good roads leading in and out of here, as you can see coming in. There's one on the north side that is really tight and twisty. That's a whole lot of fun. It's got something something I like about it that I keep coming back and passing through. So that little gas station right there is one of the stops on the MABDR. Yerma and I would have stopped there for gas. And assumedly a hot dog is the thing to get. This is a really great little road, Eggleston Road, and it's going to take us from 100 over to 460, and then we're going to hop across that, and that's going to get us up to our lodging for the night. This is a road we've both ridden at least a couple times before. I go out of my way to come back to it. It's a lot of fun. One of my favorite parts of Eggleston Road here is where it crosses the New River. Really nice bridge, pretty scenic. It's near the end of the first day, and we are finally headed up to our lodging for the night. Oh, this will be our first, our first time out. I mean, we haven't even been to a restaurant since all this pandemic stuff started ages ago, and well, this is going to be interesting. And so I think it's been a pretty good first day. It's much nicer to cruise the parkway than to run up the interstate. And since we've left, we've hit some decent roads. Can't argue about that. And this is the last one climbing to reach our destination tonight. Is also a really good one. And the nice thing about this place is it sits on top of a mountain, so the temperature drops like at least 10 degrees between the valley and what's up here, so it's a relief to get up nice and high. And here we are. Here goes our first experience with RONA RIDE 20 lodging.
Tonight we are staying at the Mountain Lake Lodge near Pembroke, Virginia. It's a nice place. We've been here several times before. It's one of our favorites. The original lodge dates back to 1851. The large stone lodge that stands today was built in 1936. And in 1986, the film Dirty Dancing was filmed here. This is our first real public outing since the virus hit. There were mask signs on the doors, though about half the guests ignored them. Not much different than home. Our room was well ventilated and spotless, no concerns there. Dinner proved little issue, the dining room was mostly empty, the nearest table at least 40 feet away, and the room was open to the outside with plenty of fresh air flowing through. Overall, no big corona concerns. We wore our masks, kept our distance. Thanks for watching episode 3 of the American Rides Maps blog. If you enjoyed it, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. I'll get started on episode 4 and have it out in about a week. Next episode, we make a loop west to visit an iconic landmark and a historic park on our travels. Subscribe now so you don't miss it.